coach Eran Ganot and student athletes Junior Madut and Mateo Colina. We will start. Mate, I'm so sorry. Mate Colina. We will start by asking Coach for an opening statement and then open the floor to questions for our student athletes, after which they will be excused. Coach, if you can start us off with thoughts for tonight.
Tough game. And, it hits you when it ends because you continue to believe, and we had to fight through a lot. Obviously, didn't start the game out well, but you're not thinking about the season ending. Every year when it happens, there's a sudden end to it. And, perspective hits in. It's really hard in the moment. Our guys fought today. They fought all year. We didn't make shots. We defended well enough to win. We rebounded well enough to win. You got to give, and this is a big part of our program, number one, is give them credit. And a learning experience, as hard as it is, it can be during the season. It could be over your life. The journey we talked about, the 21-22 team is a special team, really special team. That group, but what, perspective is what they have, what they will lead to individually and for future years is impactful. Okay, we wanted to make a jump this year. When you lose 3 guys for the year and you have 2 different guys out for 6 weeks each and we have other guys out, a lot of people might think that jump might not happen. But that's a credit, first and foremost, to the student athletes that were in our locker room and to Noel Coleman, who's following from afar. And that impact will be felt for them moving forward and for the younger guys watching. I know there are a lot of proud alums. I know it hurts right now, believe me. And so with that, we did make a jump. We finished in the top 3 in the league. That's not our end goal. We made a jump in the conference tournament. That's not our end goal. So in this moment, it's tough because that was not our end goal. But when you have perspective, when you take a breather, and you need to, I'm so proud of it. I'm as proud as, and I've been part of special teams, and I'm looking forward to being part of more special teams. But this group was incredible. Yes, we've had guys in and out. Teams have, if you coach long enough, play long enough, you'll have guys in and out. It's part of the deal. Not to this extent. And usually there might be some laying down. Not this group. Even tonight, as tough as it was. So I'm very appreciative of them. I'm appreciative of our staff. I'm appreciative of our student athletes. I'm appreciative of our administration, of the band, of our fans, of the cheerleaders. Can't thank them enough. And we're going to take a breather. We're going to learn from it, and we'll get back to work.
Questions for the student athletes, please.
Keith Mulder, KITV. Question for both of you guys. What about this loss hurt so much? I mean, I could see you guys, visibly crying. Like, what about this hurt so bad?
I think what hurts the most is it's just the fact that we know we could have done it, and we know we're capable. We just didn't play up to the standard tonight, so it's not like they did anything special. It was really just us. So that's probably what hurts the most.
I think for us as well, it's just like we've been so proud to put on the UH jersey. I've got to do it, thankfully, for the last 5 years. Like, thank you to Coach and thank you to Dave and Lois and everyone. And it's just like hits home when you finish and you see all the boys in the locker room. Everyone's like, you're like seeing them for the last time, and like I'm still wearing my jersey because I don't want to take it off yet. But yeah, that's it. Like, that's my journey done in my Hawaii jersey, and like we hope we've put the boys in the best foot forward, and they can succeed next year or like for the years to come, that they're successful.
Yeah, Junior, last night you were able to score 17 on a lot of open court transition opportunities. Tonight, did you feel like somehow those opportunities weren't there as much?
Yeah. I think they made the adjustment to try to not let me get out in transition, but yeah, there's not really much I can say about that. It just...
Question in the back.
When it came to shooting the three, you guys weren't hitting as much. Was that kind of, I mean, not to give away the game plan, but was that kind of the focus, was to try and hit the threes? And what was the strategy in the second half? Were you guys gonna stay with that, or what kind of happened there?
I think we just go in with the game plan. We follow this. We look at a scout and we look at what opportunities we have, and we did have opportunities to shoot threes, and they were good shots. So we'd take them any day of the week. And today they just weren't dropping for us, and sometimes just not going to be a night shooting wise. And they played well too. So all credit to Fullerton as well. And I think that throughout the season we showed that we can shoot the three ball at a high clip. So going forward, we're not going to be the boys won't be shy to do that next season.
One more in the back.
Yeah, Mate and Junior, when you look at the guys that are coming back and the program moving forward, what do you hope your impact will be remembered as, and your legacy here at the University of Hawaii moving forward?
For me, it's I think just building a great culture and continuing to put steps forward, not only bettering ourselves but the whole athletic department, and just having an impact on people's lives. And I think going forward, I think the boys can follow what we did and do their own things. And on the team-wise, we hope they win the championship next season, win the league next season, and just continue to do great things.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Mate. It's more about culture and family this year. So I think we built a family brotherhood environment, and I just want the boys to keep continuing that, and the best is yet to come.
We have one more in the room, and then one on Zoom, and we'll let the student athletes go.
Brian McInnes, Spectrum News Hawaii, for both you guys, because you guys are, two outgoing players in this program. This game was within, 5 to 8 points for a lot of that second half down the stretch. I mean, shots weren't dropping, but can you guys just talk about, not quitting, not giving up, and fighting every possession down the stretch?
Yeah, I think we've been resilient in situations like this before, so we had no doubt the whole game, even down to the wire. We still believe that we could win the game. So there's just never doubt in our mind, and I just hope the boys just continue that. And
yeah, our identity is just to never quit, keep taking hits, and just never lay down. And if it's not our night, it's not our night, but we're not going to go down without fighting. Exactly. So I think that's start the game, we got hit in the mouth, but we just showed that we weren't going to lay down. And that's just going to be our identity going forward as well.
Okay, last question on Zoom, please.
Thank you, sir. I'm with Kaleo, Hawaii, the college newspaper. Guys, is it possible that last night's thriller, any exhaustion from last night's thriller carried over into today?
Definitely not. Today's a new day. You got a lot of adrenaline, with the game coming up, and just being able to build off we played last night, and the win, the adrenaline rises you to play better and to rise. And like I said, we just wasn't our night. Credit to Fullerton, they played well, and it's got nothing to do with energy levels or not being ready or anything. We're ready to go. They just outplayed us today, and credit to them.
yeah, just like Mate said, definitely credit to them. I don't think we were tired at all. It was just, I think it came down to missed and made shots, and that's just what it came down to.
All right, guys, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last couple questions for Coach, please.
Can I just say how incredible these guys are? I mean, how impressive they are. And that's who they are. That's who our team is. They're incredible. They handle themselves with grace and class, and I'm very proud of them. Very impressive. Not surprising.
Coach, it sounds like from what's been said is that this is the end of the road for this 2021-22 season, but is there any conversation about possibly, if something comes up, pay-for-play tournament or anything, extending the season?
I think we'll talk as we always do collaboratively with our entire team, our entire everybody with Athletics Department and UH, and go from there. Right now, we're thinking about this moment, but appreciate the question.
Coach, you mentioned the high character of this team. You've mentioned it all season long. What is the number one thing you're going to miss most about this group?
Well, I mean, I miss the most is not being in the coaching setting and player setting with the guys who are leaving. You know, I'm excited about. You're always excited about. There's a reason Gibson, Johnson, and Mike Thomas are back on staff because I miss them, and they're awesome, and they're credible. I mean, that's why. So we talked about that when the game ends, your season ends. There's an end to those moments, being in the locker room, going through scouts, playing games, practices, but it's a lifelong deal, as you know. They're part of the family forever. This group, just obviously this specific addition, their ability to just bounce back, their talk, their belief. I'll miss that, but I feel like that's going to carry over. So to answer your question, I see Mate and Junior walk off, and hopefully Jerome comes back. That's out of our control, but I won't miss them because I know that's a lifelong relationship, but I'll just miss them being around them more. I love them to death.
You're in the front.
I guess he had spoken about how Folks had said about how your last game against them really kind of awakened them, and they saw different things and sort of moved them to play differently. What exactly did they do differently today that sort of took you out a little bit? And what can you say
They pressed a little bit more today, which got us early. I mean, we were down 9-2, and the game was pretty much even for most of the way. It was like a 5-point game, and I'm not surprised that we fought back. We couldn't quite get over the hump every time we cut it to 5. I think it was 42-38 at one point, and then there's a 3-point foul. We missed some shots we normally make, but we also missed some shots around the rim. Like I said, when you look, defended really well. You hold it, and we've defended really well all year. It's allowed us to kind of navigate through this tough period when guys are in and out, or maybe your shots don't fall. We don't live and die by the 3. Teams who live and die by the 3 don't defend, don't rebound. All right? But we need to make maybe more than we did. We need to finish better around the rim. We turned it over 16 times. That's probably the biggest deal. And we've kind of been up and down within the turnover mark this year. I expect us to continue to be a good defensive rebounding program. I expect us to be better at taking care of the ball. I expect us to get better. I expect us to handle this right. But in terms of the difference, I think, first 5 minutes it was a physicality, but we won the boards from there. We were down 3, we finished up 3. But their pressure from 1 through 5 for 40 minutes was pretty good.
Well, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned handling this right. What defines handling this loss right? I mean, you've been here before, so what in your experience is handling a loss like this, especially going into next year?
Well, there's in the moment, and then there's when you take a breather and you have some more time to think about it. You heard it. You handle it with grace, class, professionalism, character. It's basically in the moment. Own it, respect your opponent, and then you get a breather and let's look at some things we need to clean up, work on to continue to make another jump, which we will. So in the moment, that's where it's at because you've got to balance. It's really hard. I mean, I learned that a long time ago in coaching. As much as when that's your, last locker room talk with your team, it better leave positive. And sure as heck, it should be positive for those kids. So I'm just as a staff, as players, did they handle it right in the moment? Yes. They need to get off their feet. They need to recharge the batteries. They need to finish spring well. I was about to recharge, finish strong academically, which they've been exceptional at. And then start to, we'll be on the road, things like that, start to gear up for the 22-23 season. Using this experience to drive us. And I think I know it will.
And we'll wrap it up with a question on Zoom, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hey, Coach, obviously this game ended a little sour. Would you consider still this season to be one to remember maybe since the 16th season when you won it all? Because I thought the way that you played all season long certainly reflected that you took a lot of stepping stones forward as opposed to last season. That you also broke that jinx of trying to make it past the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I've been proud of a lot of our groups. I think we've had some great kids come in and out of our program. The game's very humbling. We've had some close losses. You keep going back to work. But yes, this team we wanted to make a jump. This team made a jump on paper, and they also made a jump which doesn't always show up at its why in terms of our culture. Some of which was tough with COVID when guys didn't have the relationships that they were able to build to this extent this year. This was a step even in terms of things coming back to normal. And I think hopefully, and that's the belief, that it'll continue to go in that direction as we now see fans come back and hopefully from day one we have a normal spring session, normal fall, things like that. But our guys hung in there, even the groups before. You know, we've never fallen off a cliff. We've always competed. I think this is our 5th straight winning season. And more than anything, to do some things, to take a step, we had to do that with adversity, and they did that. And that is such a credit to them. So, yeah, I'm really proud of them. We didn't get our final goal. Let's make that clear. Our goal is to win a championship. Our goal is to win a regular season championship, to win a conference tournament championship, to play in the NCAA, to get back to advance in the NCAA. I wish it happened. You live and learn. Life's humbling. Life's tough. But then you have perspective and take a breather, and those guys put us in a position to make this next jump. And that is really the essence of culture. The older guys show the younger guys the way. The younger guys get older, and they show the younger guys the way. And now we're starting to feel that again as the rhythm in the world's coming back too. So how they've dealt with a lot of stuff is, again, I'm very impressed by them.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.